from 1966 to 1992. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we are looking at a Sony WM-FX41 and from 1992-ish, and we have looked at one of these before. Here's my one, which I've used quite a lot. These always seem to be tatty. They don't wear terribly well. But this one I did a video on, probably 3 years ago. And yeah, it's actually done quite well, to be fair. But yeah, I changed the belt and did a few other bits and pieces, and it's worked really, really well. I've been very pleased with this. So my daughter's birthday's coming up. Don't tell her. Although this video will probably come out on her birthday anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, and she really wants a Walkman, and she wants to get into cassettes and everything, which is really cool. So I tried to get sort of like a late 80s Sony, but they are so expensive. They're going for like 50, 60 UK pounds, not working. And it's just an awful lot of money. So I did pick this one up a while ago. I think it was about £20. It is quite tatty. It's tattier than the pictures made out it was, but and no belt clip, which is a bit of a shame. They do seem to be quite fragile on these and get ripped off. I mean, mine's got it, but yeah, I'm hoping there isn't too much wrong with it, because I've left this quite late to actually do the work. So yeah, I suppose the first thing is to try some batteries and see what it actually does. Now, I do have it's actually saying low battery, even though they are brand new batteries. It's a little bit concerning, but anyway, we'll see. Oh no, it's just saying it's on, the radio's on, that's fine. So yes, I do have a belt from our friends at Deck Tech. Not sponsored or anything, but they just do supply really good belts. I've never had a problem. I've used a lot of their belts now, and they've been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, highly recommend them. You can find these on eBay, and they're not terribly expensive either generally. So I'm hoping it's just going to be a belt change and maybe some lubrication. This is an auto reverse deck. These are good clean as well. And on my one, I seem to remember it was quite problematic. So you can sort of hear the auto reverse trip, if you like, working, but it's fine. It was a bit warbly when we finished the video for that one, but that went really quickly, to be honest. So yeah, so let's take this apart. And I seem to remember they are quite fun, because they are actually quite tough to get apart. It's all the same screws, and they're all rusty. On my one, actually, that one is particularly rusty. The other two, I seem to remember, weren't so bad. No, they're rusty, so they rust. So, but it's not as simple as that. You can't just take the back off. I seem to remember. I mean, watch that other video because that does actually explain how to get this apart. But I seem to remember you've got to try and get a plectrum in. Yeah, there we go. It's actually not too bad. I seem to remember the other one was quite a bit more tricky. Let's pull that up again. Yeah, I seem to remember this was the hard bit. It's just getting this bit. Yeah, you just can't, once you start it, you can't just rip the back off because it'll break all the clips. Am I forgetting something? No, I don't think so. And here I've broken one plastic clip, which is not altogether surprising. It looks like this has been opened before as well. Oh, there we go. It's going. They're just, the clips are actually quite a way up there, so it probably would have been better to get the plectrum in, push through. But you live and learn. Well, I could have watched my other video, couldn't I? But I just thought it'd be quite fun to do this, having not watched my other video from 3 years ago. Am I missing another screw? Yes. Sorry, 4 screws. I thought that was the adjustment hole, but because the adjustment hole is there for the speed. So, yeah. So, there we go. Actually, well, yeah. The belt's there. It's not, it's well and truly past its best. So, let's get that out. So it's only just... I was actually going to try a tape in it, but I pretty much knew what the score was going to be, and I'm glad I didn't, because you just muck it all up, don't you? Didn't want to make life hard for myself for once. And to be fair, it's actually wrapped around. That is one gungy belt. But it's come off. It's come off from one piece. I don't know whether you'd want to measure it really. So yeah, that's not great. So grease wise, it's pretty bad. And you can see there how the mechanism works. I mean, it actually feels... Oh, this feels great. So the rest of it looks pretty good. You've got the memory capacitor here for the clock. Ribbon cable to the front door. Little bit of corrosion on the battery terminal, which I'll clean off with some vinegar, or just neutralize it at least. Clean the headphone sockets. Might put a little bit of, if I can get some deoxit into that. I don't know how easy that's going to be, because it's quite buried. I might just take my chances with that it's okay, but I will put some grease in here. Give this a clean. Get some isopropyl on it. And I'm going to use probably PTFE based lubricant. It doesn't need anything that's too thick, because it will not thank you for it. Super. So always tempted to use just silicone, but I'll use PTFE on this little bit. This tends to go everywhere, like that. Some fluff in there, which I think I put in. Just make sure that these are clean. But like I say, it seemed to come off. Let's put some nice trouble on this. So I would say maybe look at the first video I did, just because this one I'm just showing quickly getting this commissioned. There's a little bit of muck in there, in the belt. That's fine. Motor pulley, which actually looks perfect, because the belt fell off. Tiny bit. It's just a tiny bit of contamination, which isn't even in the groove, it's just to the side of it. Lovely. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put a tiny bit of silicone grease just here and here, a little bit on here, a little bit here, and I think that'll be fine. It's just really just make sure that it's, and this is really just a tiny amount. Now, in some ways, I'd like to take the flywheels off as well, but they are rotating so freely. I'm happy with that. It all just feels really nice, to be fair. Oh, well, I need to. Yeah, I don't think I'm even going to worry about the buttons, to be honest. I'll probably take the opportunity just to clean this switch here, because I can get to it. And the other one I'll just clean as best I can, because I'm sort of up against the time a bit. So let's get some vinegar. Let's get some. So I'm just using white vinegar distilled. It did have a shaker apparently, but that's long since gone. And this is quality stuff. Quality stuff when it comes to removing or neutralizing, because I'm probably not going to be able to get all of this visibly off. Although it's not doing a bad job. What's the other side like? Really good. Bit of a hair in there. Yeah, so there are electrolytics in here. There's 3 there. We've got little tiny ones here and here, which I'm not going to worry about, but probably will need changing in the fullness of time. Okay, so I'll let that just soak in for a bit. Let's find some deoxits. It's just got a dodgy connector, dodgy top to it. Let's put a bit in there. Straight across the board, always good. So I can get that just between there, in the vague hope that maybe I'll get in those switches. I'll just wipe the excess off. A bit in the power socket. I don't think it'll ever be used, but you never know. Wiping off the excess of the grease. Super. So yeah, you can see the memory cap is working well. So we managed to get 16 minutes out of it so far, which is pretty good going. I mean, really, it's just designed so you can change the batteries. But yeah, so this is the fun bit, insofar as showing you what's going on. So that one pinch roll is looking a little bit sad and worn. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, pull the caps down. and this is going to be impossible to show just because of what it is, getting anything in there. Tiny bit of Brasso. Just lightly pressing it against the capstan, and then same for this one. There we go. And I think normally I'd use isopropyl to clean the pinch rollers, but I think I'm going to just dip the Q-tip into some rubber renew. So I'm not letting it touch the capstan. Just clean off that white and just give the pinch roll a little bit of a rejuvenation as well. And then I'll go in, once it's dried, I'll go in with some isopropyl. Just very full of hair. And I'm actually just turning the pinch roller with the Q-tip now. Right, so that's pretty okay. Still quite white, so you can't see it very well, but I can. Just where the rubber's starting to break down. So like I say, I'm using rubber renew, but probably I didn't need to. You know, I'm sure the pinch rollers are actually okay, to be fair. But still quite white. It's just really just to make sure that that rubber keeps good. I'm trying to prolong its life rather than sort of resurrect it or anything. Like I say, I'm pretty sure it's okay. So I am now running it with my finger. I'm not trusting I haven't got every single part of it clean. Yeah, so that's done pretty well, I think. I'm happy with that. Super. So while that all settles down and we do the isopropyling in a minute, let's get this belt on. It's fairly simple. It's just literally over there, round that's capstan, and around there. Just run it a bit, so just to make sure the belt is sitting correctly, which it actually is. I did a good job there. Wow, surprising. Sometimes I surprise myself. Yeah, so that's great. Quick little clean there. Not using the one that had the rubber renew on. So super. So I now need to get in there with some isopropyl. In fact, I could still turn this, can't I? Just turning, because we've got the belt on, I can just turn one side now. Just get any of the dry set off. I'll just do a dry as well. And then the alarm went off somewhere, I don't know where. Yeah, it's just getting that last bit of residue off. The same on this one. Right, so that's all good. It's a bit of plastic that's broken off. Whether I did it or it was done before, don't know. Probably I did it, to be fair. So this is not great, and I have had some success. It doesn't do a perfect job, but it will improve it using some of this Brasso stuff just on this plastic. You don't want to use it anywhere else because it will just take the paint off and or take the graphics off the print, but it just improves it slightly, takes the scratches out. Yeah, it's improved it. With some polish now, that won't look so bad. I mean, here is really bad. In some ways, that's actually made that a bit worse because it's sort of highlighted it. But then with a bit of polish, let's try it. A bit of polish. So it's multi-surface, cheap and cheerful polish. I tend to find the cheaper polishes do a better job, and if they have silicone in them, all the better. Yeah, I don't know if I can get any more of that off. Just there is really bad. Oh, I'm taking the paint off. Yeah, so that's bad. Okay, well, yeah. That was not a good thing to do, obviously. I didn't realise that was painted on the outside. I thought it was underneath. So that's a cursory note. Just be careful with your polishing. I might find a crafty way of doing something with this. But, oh, annoyed I did that. Well, adds character. So I suppose, let's try batteries. This is better than mine. I mean, that's silent. That's absolutely fine. Am I brave enough to put the back on? So it's certainly fairly clean. Despite the fact there's a hair that's trying to get in the way. So to pull these out, because this is a battery compartment proper. clip it back together. Don't have to worry about so that's working well. Yeah, so that pinch roller is squeaking a little bit. But I think with use, it just needs a tape put through it. Actually, it's still quite mucky. So let's I'm just rubbing it on there. I wondered, to be fair, if I've managed to get a little bit of the rubber renew in the wrong place. I think it definitely needed it. I'm a bit worried about, I'd prefer if the squeak was more consistent. It is making the same sort of noise as mine. But it doesn't seem quite as noisy. I might have to look at mine again and just see what's going on there. I mean, like I say, it was quite fluttery and wowie. I need to clean the head as well. Doesn't seem too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave it play for a little while on this side. I do wonder if that pinch roller might not be too clever. But yeah, I'm going to leave this play for a little bit just like this, and I'll go and get headphones and yeah, we'll give it a try. Okay, so I've got my Sony HD25 Sennheiser, which I've had for years. I love these headphones, they're absolutely brilliant. And I've managed to dig out a cassette. I put some Sharpie on there. It's not great, but it's, I suppose it looks better, I don't know. But yeah, you can see the cassette in there. back in here. Let's go into the fade, I think. Normal. So I can't play too much of this. Goes the other way. So it's making pretty much the same noise as mine, but it's perfect. It's actually working really, really well. So yeah, that actually worked out really well. I will give it a run. Listen to some music. Give it a test. All the rest of it. I've cleaned up the screws a little bit. Just with some silicone grease, actually. Just sort of rub the heads in a bit of that, clean them off a bit. It's good enough for me. I mean, it's not going to be too noticeable anyway. And at the end of the day, this didn't cost too much. Lils will love it, I'm sure. And as and when, if she does really use it, I mean, Lils still uses his a fair bit. He actually stopped because his headphones started getting really distorted, but yeah, we'll sort that. I did try and get him some new headphones and that went wrong. They were in stock and then they're out of stock and then they cancelled the order, so it just didn't happen. But we'll get him some new headphones so he can listen to his cassettes. But yeah, that's really cool. Are we 23? So 11. You get the idea. 11:53. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this, and I feel very lucky because it's not often that you get something and can sort of fix it. I mean, I've pretty much done this in one complete edit. Oh, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Oh, it's an alarm. There we go, that's the time. I didn't see the alarm down there with the light. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. It was just really me just doing this. I don't really get anything out of it, especially as I've done another video on it, on one of these. But yeah, it just shows you that sometimes things can actually work really well. So yeah, incredibly pleased with that. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.